Welcome back to Mr. DuPage's classroom. This lesson is for my Algebra 1 class. It is 9.4 special products. What we're really going to go over here is some double distribution problems that you might be able to recognize just by the look of them and what their answer would be. So the beginning here, we're just going to do double distribution. So I'm going to multiply the first, so that's x squared, the outer, negative 10x, inner, positive 10x, and then the last, so negative 100. In this case, my two middle terms will cancel, so I'm left with x squared minus 100. On to number 2, same thing. First, x squared, outer, 3x, inner, 3x, last, 9. In this case, I can add these two together, so I end up with x squared plus 6x plus 9. What you're going to notice here is we're going to start seeing a pattern. Okay? 3, same thing. FOIL. So I end up with x squared minus 2x plus 2x minus 4. Middles cancel. X squared minus 4. Problem number 4, x times x is x squared. X times negative 7 is negative 7x. Negative 7 times x is negative 7x. Negative 7 times negative 7 is 49. I can add these two together, or combine these two. X squared minus 14x plus 49. On to my last one on the left here. 2x times 2x would be 4x squared. 2x times negative 7 is negative 14x. 7 times 2x is positive 14x. And 7 times negative 7 is negative 49. Again, our two middle terms will cancel, leaving me with 4x squared minus 49. The last one on the right, 3x times 3x is 9x. 3x times 4 is 12x. 4 times 3x is 12x. 4 times 4 is 16. I can combine these two. Oh, sorry, 9x squared. I apologize. I think I had it everywhere else was right. 9x squared plus 24x plus 16. Now, we're going to go back and look at those here in a second. There is a pattern that just happened here, and it's called, on the left-hand side, it was called the sum and difference pattern. If you can get this in your head and you can get this memorized, it's just going to make some of your problems much quicker and easier. So when there's a pattern, I have a plus b times a minus b. We end up with a squared minus b squared. Why? If I were to use FOIL, a plus b times a minus b, if I were to use FOIL, I'd end up with a squared. Then I would end up with negative ab. Then I would end up with positive ab. And then negative b squared. Our middle terms here are always opposites when I have that pattern. So since those are opposites, my middle terms would always cancel. Meaning that if I know that, I don't have to write out what my double distribution problem would multiply into and then cancel the middle terms. I just know they would go away. So if I have a positive and a negative, everything else is the same. I have an x in front, 3 in front, 3 in back, or 3 as the second term in the first parenthesis, 3 as the second term in the second parenthesis. If everything's the same except for the signs, then I can just right away say x squared minus 9. Everything's the same. I have x and x. I have 11 and 11. The only difference is the positive negative, so I have opposites. X squared minus 121. Looking at 9, I have 2x in front, I have 2x in front. I have 5 in the back, I have 5 in the back. I have a positive, and a negative. 4x squared minus 25. Again, 7 in the front, 7 in the front, 2x in the back, 2x in the back. Negative, positive, so it's 49 minus 4x squared. Now, when we have a problem like that, we do want our variable in front. So we will want to rewrite this as negative 4x squared plus 49. Because the sign, there is no sign in front of the 49, so it is positive when there is no sign. 11. I have a 3x first, 3x first. I have a 4 and a 4. Positive, negative. 9x squared plus, oh, not plus, I'm sorry, minus 16. And 12 is the same thing. I would end up with 4x squared minus 1. If you do not recognize that pattern, but you understand double distribution, you're actually going to be fine. And that's the same thing with the next pattern we look at. Because we're just using the principles of double distribution and we're skipping one step. That's all that's really happening here, okay? So on to the square of binomial patterns. What this means is they're going to give you a plus b squared. What it really is to us is a plus b times a plus b. If we were to use double distribution, we would end up with a squared plus ab plus ab plus b squared. Double distribution. Now, if I know that that's the case every single time, I'm going to end up with the first term squared. My two middle terms are going to be my first and second terms multiplied by each other. And then my last part is going to be my second term squared. Then I can come up with a rule. The rule would be anytime I have the same thing multiplied by itself, I would have a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. I don't believe that this pattern really does a ton for us. I don't think that double distribution is really that much more work. So you can memorize that if you want, but it's not that important. Same thing is going to happen here. I would have a squared minus ab plus b squared because I have negative b times negative b. So for the pattern a minus b squared, what we're going to end up with is a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. If you get that memorized, that's great. That's not something I'm really going to be quizzing you on, though. I just want you really to know that x plus 5 squared is x plus 5 times x plus 5, and to be able to use double distribution. If you can do that, you're going to be fine. If you can look at x plus 5 squared and say it's going to be x squared plus 10x plus 25, good, great. I'm okay with that because there is a pattern to it. Now, if you want to use double distribution, x times x is x squared, x times 5 is 5x, 5 times x is 5x, 5 times 5 is 25. This is our final answer. So if you can use the patterns, great. If not, if you're not confident in it or not confident in using the patterns, if you don't want to memorize something else, go ahead and just use double distribution. It will be fine. 14, if you wanted to use the pattern, it would be x squared minus 14x plus 49. If you know the pattern to that, you could jump straight to that, and that would be great. However, knowing x squared or x minus 7 squared is really x minus 7 times x minus 7, and using double distribution really doesn't take that much longer. You would combine the negative 7x and the negative 7x to get to the negative 14x. It only takes a couple seconds longer if you know how to use double distribution. So really, I'm going to leave that up to you. We've done enough double distribution here. what I'm going to do is I would ask you to go ahead and pause the video, see if you can get 15, 16, 17, and 18 on your own. Either using the pattern or using double distribution. It is up to you, and I will give you the answers here in a few minutes, okay? So if you use the pattern, it would be 4x squared minus 12x plus 9. This would be 49x squared plus 28x plus 4. 17 would be x squared minus 6x plus 9. And 18 would be x squared plus 8x plus 16. Okay? All right, now that you've seen the answers, hopefully you got those answers right. If you have any questions on those, please make sure you ask. We're going to go ahead and look at this table for review. Remember that when we have our polynomial, we want to write it in standard form, which means I have my largest exponent, the term with the largest exponent on the left, on down to my constant, which would be on the far right. In this case, it would be 7, 5, 101 are my constants. Remember that anything that does not have an exponent has an exponent of 1. So we have to figure out what degree we have. In this case, the degree is 1, 3, 0, and 2, because those are the largest exponents in our polynomial. The name by degree, remember a first degree kind of looks like a line, so it's linear. The third degree is a cubic. A 0 degree is a constant. And the second degree is a quadratic. Now we have to have the name by the number of terms. So remember things like tricycles, bicycle, what those the beginning parts of those words mean. A bicycle has 2 wheels, so it's a bicycle. A tricycle has 3 wheels, so it's a tricycle. Okay, so we have 2 terms over there. 1, 2. I have 1, 2, 3. I have 1. I have 1, 2, 3. Okay? So 2 terms is going to be known as a binomial, bi being 2, nomial being number. The next polynomial has 3, so it's a trinomial. The next one is 1 monomial. And then again 3, so it is a trinomial. Remember that all polynomials have 2 names. They have a name by their degree and a name by the number of terms. Their first name is their name by degree. Their last name is their name by the number of terms. At this point, it wants us to go ahead and add and subtract each polynomial. If I have a plus sign in between, I can just drop the parentheses. So I would have 8x squared. What that also means is I can reorder this if I want. So I have 8x squared plus 4x squared, because there's no negative in front of the 4x squared. Then I would have negative 2x. Oh, I'm sorry. I missed one here. So we always want to start with the largest exponent. The term with the largest exponent in this case is this negative 3x to the third. Again, because there's a plus sign in between, nothing really changes. So I can go ahead and write these in order. Negative 3x to the third. Then there's nothing in front of the 8x squared or in front of the 4x squared. So those are going to be positive plus signs. 8x squared, 4x squared. There's a negative in front of my 2x, so it's going to be minus 2x. And then finally, I have positive 4 and negative 1. So positive 4, negative 1. What I want to do now is I can go ahead and combine like terms. Negative 3x to the third does not have a like term. 8x squared plus 4x squared would be 12x squared. Negative 2x does not have a like term, so it stays negative 2x. 4 minus 1 would get me positive 3. Okay? On to 20. Now there is a negative in between. I want to distribute that negative to everything that comes behind it. I can go ahead and just write what was in the first parenthesis down. But everything in the second set of parentheses will get a different sign. The sign will change. So the negative 8x squared becomes positive, the negative 3x becomes positive, and the positive 4 becomes negative. At this point, I want to go ahead and combine like terms. So you could, like I did in 19, write them all out in order, or I can just look at them here and realize that negative 8x squared and positive 8x squared will cancel, meaning that I won't have any x squareds left. They just cancel out. Then I have 12x plus 3x, which is 15x. I have positive 6 minus 4, which is positive 2. I don't care which way you do it. If you want to write them all in order so that you see what will actually combine, go ahead and do that. If you just want to make little notations under things, that's great as well. It's completely up to you. But otherwise, thank you very much for watching the video. Make sure if you have any questions, you're letting me know. And have a great day.